We're back. We're back to normal, sort of. Hello, welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today is a very pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things. And on this very pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things, we're going to be talking about mini stuffs and things. A lot's been going on, obviously. We did a little check-in last weekend where I was cleaning my old apartment. Been going through that whole process of moving and cleaning and all sorts of other nonsense, coupled with the public health crisis that's been going on lately. So things have been a little wild, things have been a little crazy. Haven't had the same amount of uploads that I would normally have on the channels. But starting this week, starting with this episode of Sunday Stuff and Things, everything will be back to normal as far as uploads go. It's really important to me to get that sense of normalcy back. I know that you guys have been waiting for that as well. So, on this Sunday Stuff and Things, we are finally going to be getting to another reading from Peter Straub's The Throat. We are going to talk about what's been going on with my employment situation. I know that I'm probably not unique. I know a lot of you will probably be sharing a similar situation as I am. We're going to get into kind of news about getting settled into our new place. In fact, I might even show you a brief tour of the new place. And then we'll talk a little bit about what everyone's been doing to keep busy, to stave off boredom. And then we will get into your questions, finally, on hashtag askstuffandthings. A lot have been building up, and I was trying to get through a lot of correspondence today in preparation for this episode, answering emails, answering some questions, some things that aren't necessarily right for the show, but I just wanted to let everyone know that I'm still paying attention, I'm still here, and getting in touch with people on Patreon who've left notes, people on Twitter who've left nice notes as well. So hopefully I am slowly getting caught up with all of that correspondence. But gang, let's start with a reading from our good friend Peter Straub's The Throat. Peter is a Stuff and Things viewer, he is a Patreon supporter, and he is also an award-winning author, and he has very kindly given us permission to read his book on the show. So let us begin, shall we? Last week, or not last week, but last time, our hero was going to, I think, buy illicit substances somewhere. I turned right and heard the girls taunting me. Now I could smell wood smoke and hot oil. The shock of this unexpected world so close to the camp, and an equal matching shock of pleasure almost made me forget that I had a purpose. But I remembered the green door, and saw the name Lie picked out in sharp, businesslike black letters above the knocker. The children keened and tugged at my clothes. I knocked softly at the door. The children became frantic. I dug in my pockets and threw a handful of coins into the street. The children rushed away and began fighting for the coins. My entire body was drenched in sweat. The door cracked open, and a white-haired old woman with a plump, unsmiling face frowned at me. Certain information was communicated instantly and wordlessly. I was too early. Customers kept her up half the night. She was doing me a favor by opening the door at all. She looked hard at my face, then looked me up and down. I pulled the bills from my pocket, and she quickly opened the door and motioned me inside, protecting me from the children, who had seen the bills and were running towards me, squeaking like bats. She slammed the door behind me. The children did not thump into the door as I expected, but seemed to evaporate. The old woman took a step away from me and wrinkled her nose in distaste as if I were a skunk. Name? Underhill. Never here. You go away. She was still sniffing and frowning as if to place me by odor. I'm supposed to buy something. Never here. Go away. Lee snapped her fingers at the door as if to open it by magic. She was still inspecting me, frowning as if her memory had failed her. Then she found what she had been looking for. Mistro, she said, and almost smiled. De maestro. Da dat man. The dead man? The dead man? She lowered her arm and gestured me toward a camp table and a wooden chair with a rush seat. What you want, I told her. There you are, another reading from Peter Straub's The Throat. More from that next week as we get back into the swing of things. Oh boy, gang, a lot's been going on, obviously. You may notice this fancy new background that I have placed up in the Stuff and Things studios. I sort of have access to the Stuff and Things studios not necessarily on the kind of basis that I would like, and we may have to sort of work around that. So as far as doing videos about pipe blends and things like that, I can do that when I'm in Stuff and Things Studios, or I can maybe do it when I'm out of doors somewhere. Excuse me. So we're gonna have to sort of work around that and figure out how that goes. I have it today. I was able to put up my background and stuff. I'm still experimenting with some lighting things. I wanted to get some new lights, so I don't know. Some things may look a little different. Things might be in flux. I'm not totally convinced about this background either. I'm trying to get several different backgrounds that I can just pull down. I think that would be cool, but we shall see. But we're going to talk a little bit about getting into the new place. You saw last week, in last week's video, I was working on cleaning up my old place. Finally got that done and handed in my keys. So we are pretty much in the new place, pretty much unpacked, but as most of you know who have moved before, it takes a while to really get settled in. We're still kind of in that process. And then my fiance, we have everything pretty much out of her place, and we need to clean that, but that's a much smaller job. So the biggest, most stressful part of the move is pretty much over. Thank God. I don't know what this means. Thank God. And so now we're just kind of working on, you know, sprucing things up, getting settled in, maybe get some art on the walls, things like that. But I thought I'd show you quickly, since many of you have asked, a very quick and probably shaky cam version of a tour of the new place. So please enjoy. Hey gang, so I know that many of you were curious to see the new place that you've been hearing so much about. I've been talking about moving for weeks now, it seems, probably for months. We are finally in our new place. We are sort of settled in. There are still a lot of things that are temporary, things that are kind of a mess, but I thought I'd give you a brief tour. So let me turn the camera around and then I will show you the new apartment. Finally. All right, so here's the front door. There I am in the mirror. We've got some things sort of set up. We have our shoes and such here. A tiny little table that's way too small for the area that it's in. From the front door, you come in and there is a kitchen area. Fairly nice size compared to what my fiance and I had in both of our places before. Granite countertops, which is nice. We've got a fridge, we got all that stuff. We got a bunch of cleaning things laid around because we're still working on her apartment now. Mine is pretty much done. My old place, I've turned in the keys. You come into the main living area. A lot of windows, which is nice. A lot of light when the sun is actually out. Television, cabinets. These are kind of nice because they're built in, and we were able to put all our books in here. And then under the TV, kind of video game stuff, entertainment center stuff. Nice little record player, some records. We have a hallway that goes in. There's a coat closet here, and I wish I could get a little wider angle. And then this goes back into the kitchen. We have this hallway that goes into the bathroom. Again, fairly good size. Not bad. There's a toilet. There is a sink. There is a shower. Again, things are kind of a mess. There's a tub. All that good stuff. We have another door that goes out into the actual main unit. We mostly use the one that goes outside. We have our own little entrance with a little staircase that goes to a porch, which is cool. If you go here into this hallway, there is the bedroom. There are a bunch of stuffed animals on the bed. We have not much furniture in here, but my fiance has her giant television that she likes to watch inside the bedroom. And then here we have the office. And this is where I will be editing everything and actually recording the Stuff and Things Plays videos as well. And then I have my own closet because she had a lot of clothes and I couldn't fit any of my clothes into our actual closet in the bedroom. So this is cool. There's room to spread out a little bit. I've got lots of gear and stuff here. My little pipe cabinet and everything. So when I get into Stuff and Things Studios, grab the pipes and the things I need and the equipment. I've got a little bookshelf with some Japanese books and camera equipment and all sorts of other good stuff, musical equipment. So there you go. That's pretty much it. Not bad. We're starting to actually feel like we're at home when we are at home now. It takes a while when you first move into a new place and everything's in shambles, nothing's unpacked. We've sort of gotten past that stage, and now I need to get to the stage where it can be pitch black at night and I'm stumbling into the bathroom and I know where light switches are and I don't stub my toe and run into things. But we're getting there. Things are starting to get more settled, finally. There you go. That's the place. Hey! Oh. Nah, not bad, not bad. Starting to become kind of home-like now. Still a lot to do, but hopefully you enjoyed that little look. And now let's get into, I guess, what you always have to talk about now every single week or every single day is a certain public health crisis that's happening in the country. Just very briefly, I can't actually say the name of it because apparently that gets you demonetized on YouTube and your video gets flagged. I don't know why. But basically, not too much more to add. We're still under lockdown here. I have been laid off. I'm no longer allowed to work. And that is kind of scary. And I know a lot of you are experiencing the same thing out there. And there's a lot of uncertainty as far as just being able to pay the bills and stuff. We'll see what happens with us. My fiance is still able to work, so that is good, and I'm hopefully gonna figure some stuff out soon, so I'll keep you posted on that. I know, like I said, that a lot of you are in the same boat, so I hope you all are able to persevere and get through all this. It's kind of annoying. As far as just like society in general, you know my issues with the way people are behaving. I understand that some people are afraid and everything, but it does bother me when I see people, and whenever I say anything about this, people are gonna get mad. I'm sorry, but I still feel that if you're young and healthy, you don't have much to fear from this disease. It's mostly other people who need to be protected, basically, people who are at risk. So when I went to the store yesterday and saw a person in their maybe mid-20s with a giant pickup truck and 2 shopping carts filled with toilet paper, wearing full mask and gloves and just dumping toilet paper into the pickup truck, it kind of annoys me because he doesn't need all that toilet paper. He's the reason why there is a toilet paper shortage. He's the reason why you need to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning to go to the store to get the toilet paper. Again, my fiance and I are just doing our normal shopping. So every week I would go shopping because there are perishables that, you know, fruit and milk and things like that I need to get every week. And so usually I would just go every week, every weekend on a Saturday, go and do my shopping, get my bananas, get my milk and things. And then if there are any non-perishables that we had run out of, I would grab those. Things like toilet paper, things like paper towels, and we would get enough to last a week or two, like normal human beings. Now I can never find it because people like this doofus in the pickup truck are purchasing huge amounts of it and hoarding it. Stop doing that. I know that most of you out there probably aren't doing that, but that's what I'm talking about when I talk about being annoyed with the way people are behaving. I can understand people being fearful because of what they're hearing in the media and just the circumstances going on. I'm not personally afraid of it. There are a few people in my life who I would be a little worried about if they were to contract it, just because of underlying health issues and age and things like that. So personally, I'm not worried about myself. I'm worried about a few loved ones, and I know a lot of you have loved ones out there who you might be worried about as well, but that does not mean that you need to hoard supplies. So that really annoys me when people do that. Aside from all that though, I know a lot of you are stuck in your homes like I am. I keep myself very, very busy, and I'm just curious to know what you all out there do to stave off boredom. Because personally, and I hope this doesn't sound like bragging, because I don't mean it that way, and I don't like experience it that way myself, like I don't feel it that way, but I feel like boredom is a term that I just don't understand, or a concept that I don't understand. A little Elizabethan mixture, by the way. Lovely. I think maybe as a child, I would get bored occasionally, but that was probably more just because I'd be forced to do something that I didn't want to do, and I would rather be doing something else, so the task at hand was boring to me. But in my adult life, I don't think I can remember ever being bored. And for me, there's always something to do. There's always something to think about. There's always something to be interested in, I guess. So on days where I can't work, and right now I'm not allowed to work, there are 1,000 other things that I could be doing, and there are 1,000 other things that I do. And it's just interesting to me when I hear people talk about being bored, and I understand maybe it's more them being frustrated that they can't do certain things that they would normally be doing. But I'm just curious, what do you guys do out there to fill the time? If you are stuck at home, I know some people are working from home, some people are just plain laid off, like I am. For me, I'm doing stuff with YouTube now. I'm finally able to get back into that because we have internet again. I like researching things online. I like to read. I like to play a certain video game that's caught the world by storm lately, Animal Crossing: New Horizons. I've been playing that. In fact, I posted a video on Stuff and Things Plays about that on Friday, and we'll have some updates on that every once in a while on Stuff and Things Plays. Been playing that, and I have been, you know, obviously working on getting the new apartment set up, cleaning my old apartment. So my days have been very full. I don't feel as though I've been bored or like looking for things to do. What are you guys doing out there? One thing I have picked up, and something that's been giving me a lot of pleasure and a lot of satisfaction, is guitar again. And a lot of you had noticed in past videos where you could see when I was filming in my apartment back in the day, you would see my Rickenbacker. I know, I say Rickenbacker, I know it's technically supposed to be Rickenbacker. That's the way the family pronounces it and the business pronounces it, but I just have trouble saying that. I would just say Rickenbacker. You'll have seen my Rickenbacker 330 hanging up on my wall, and I had a Vox AC15 amp, and people would ask, oh, are you ever gonna do videos on that? Are you gonna play guitar on video? And I never had, and never really planned on doing that. But lately, you know, after the move, I started picking up my guitar again, something that I had neglected for a long time, just too busy and too many things to do, and I just sort of let it fall by the wayside. And I was like, you know, maybe I wanna get back into guitar. And so I started fooling around with it, and then just thought, man, this thing is dirty, it needs a cleaning, it needs strings, it might need a setup. And so one thing I have done that has been super fun is I actually recorded a video of me just kind of deep cleaning my Rickenbacker 330, getting new strings on it, just getting it back in shape for playing again. And I'm gonna be posting that video this Wednesday, and it's been so fun to do. Like, I always loved playing guitar. I was never really good at it, but that guitar is so beautiful and so amazing and such a joy, and having it kind of in my life again has been really enjoyable. And then I plugged it into my amp, and again, there were a lot of dirty pots, dirty potentiometers on that amp. It did not sound good, and so I didn't do this on video, but I took the whole thing apart, cleaned everything up, got some electrical contact cleaner, did all the potentiometers and all the jacks and everything, and now that's running really well again. And I also have a bass that I've never really learned to play. I just had it. It's kind of a long story as to why I have a Fender P bass, but I do. And I never really tried to learn bass. I just kind of used it on a couple songs before. And now I'm like, oh, I want to set that up again and get that in really good shape and maybe actually work on really learning how to play the bass. So there are just so many projects and so many things to do. I can't imagine in 1,000 years me ever being bored. And even if I were just in a room with nothing around me, I could just sit and I could think, and my thoughts would be interesting enough to keep me engaged. Maybe I'm just weird, I don't know, but I am super curious to hear what all of you guys do in these days where you are perhaps not able or allowed to do the things that you would normally be doing. Let me know in the comments. And finally, it is time to get to your questions and hashtag askstuffandthings. I know it's been quite some time since we've been able to answer your questions. But please keep them coming in. I'm getting caught up this week, but we're going to need more for next week. So if you have a question for me, tweet at SATBradley with the hashtag askstuffandthings, and I will do my best to answer you on the next Sunday Stuff and Things. Also, if you are a Patreon supporter, you can write to me, ask me questions there, leave posts, comments, whatever, and I will try to answer your question. So first, via Twitter, we have a question from Tom Edwards at Tom with 2 M's _pipes. Tom says, Tom here from Norwich, Norfolk, England. Pipes, fantastic. I'm assuming he means pipes are fantastic for the first half, then progressively more bitter from then on and not slightly enjoyable. I wouldn't mind so much if it was just the last quarter. I could just dump it. One half is too wasteful. Thanks. And there isn't really a question here, but I guess I'm assuming he's wondering what to do about that. And I've heard other people mention this as well. I don't think this is ubiquitous for pipes. I think perhaps, I don't know what kind of pipes you have or what kind of condition they're in, but I've only really noticed this when I have a pipe that just happens to be a really wet smoker. If it gets really wet, it can get really acrid towards the end of the bowl. And so my best pipes are the ones where that doesn't happen, where it stays really dry and really fresh throughout the entire bowl. So maybe look at how often you're rotating your pipes, how often you're using them, and just see about, you know, if you're going through a pipe and halfway through the bowl you put a pipe cleaner in and it's just soaking wet, that's probably indicative of the fact that that pipe is either maybe needs a deep cleaning, or maybe it's just a wet pipe, and maybe try some other ones. See if you can find one that's a drier smoke. Next, from Michael Jones at MikeJ2735. He says, hey Bradley, how many pipes do you have a day? I get this question a lot, and then he also says, have you ever considered buying a Franklin-Cristoph fountain pen with an HP steel needlepoint Masuyama nib? It might really suit your small note-taking handwriting. Mike. First questions first. I haven't had really any lately. It's been a very long time. I finally am in what is this called? Stuff and Things Studios today, and I've been able to enjoy one. And then typically I would have them before work and kind of during work in my vehicle on the way to work, during lunch breaks and stuff like that. I haven't been going to work, and we've been in a new place, and I've been busy setting that up and everything. I was able to sneak out a couple times and have one, but very few lately. When I am working and it's normal, I would probably have 2 or 3 in a day. And then the Franklin-Cristoph fountain pen. I've heard of Franklin-Cristoph. I don't know that I specifically know the HP steel needlepoint nib. I might have to look into that. In fact, I'm going to make a note to look into that. Thank you for the suggestion. Next, we have a couple questions from Ted the Tricky Thicky Thick Boy at Chevrolet of. And Ted has written in before. He also has another question that I've kind of put in to someone else who asked a similar question. So we have 3 from Ted actually this week. Ted says, please tell me you're going to play Doom Eternal on the Plays channel. This is my father and this is me and my father's favorite Plays channel, but he doesn't care for Doom. He will watch it if you play it though. So I guess you're asking for yourself, and your father will just have to put up with it if I do. So let's answer this question first. I don't know that I'm going to play Doom. I never played Doom 2016. I'm not a huge shooter person, and we'll see. Maybe in the future. The next question is, I promise I won't make these double questions a common occurrence. Don't worry about it, Ted. I notice over the years you do a considerable amount of mentioning of certain aspects of Christianity. What is your religious background? I don't know that I do that, but I guess maybe if you notice that. I grew up going to church and stuff as a kid, and we went to like a very odd little private Christian school, which I know sounds super fancy, but believe me, it was not super fancy. In fact, I don't think my parents even paid for me to go much of the time. So I was brought up with that background, as I think quite a few people are. And yeah, that's just kind of the background I had. I'm not like a super religious person now. Don't go to church. Next, from Austin Byerly. Did I skip one? No. Austin says, in a Southern hillbilly voice, what made you go in the direction of a skateboard instead of a longboard? I have very limited experience with a longboard, but it was enjoyable to cruise around. Is that more Texas or maybe Southwest? Anyway, P.S. Good luck with the move. Thank you, Austin. And then a similar question, Ted the Tricky Thicky Thick Boy also asks, how is the skateboarding? Have you fallen and busted your rear end? I think I speak for everyone when I say this. Do a kickflip. Also, will we be seeing any pipe blend reviews soon? One to add to the queue is Pegasus by Cornell and Deal. Thanks. So I picked a normal skateboard, or I guess, I don't know what you could call a normal skateboard, but a typical street skateboard over a longboard because I'm not looking for skateboarding as a means of transportation. It's just something fun to do, and I liked the idea of perhaps doing tricks eventually, as ill-advised as that may seem for someone of my advanced age. So that's why I picked a street board or a park board or whatever you would call them over a longboard. And then I have not hurt myself yet. I haven't really skateboarded in a long time. It's been over a month because of the move, because everything that's been going on, because the weather had been really crappy. It's sort of kind of starting to look like spring now around here, so hopefully I'll be able to get out, and now that things are settling down a little bit with the move and stuff, hopefully I'll be able to get out there, and maybe I'll do some update videos soon. But I actually need to make some progress first before I do that. We'll see. All right, and the last question is from Tyler, our good friend at Tyler Brubaker20. Hey Bradley, hope all is well with you in this crazy time. Thank you, Tyler. This is a bit of a personal question, so you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. But what does your fiance think of the pipe hobby and you taking part in it? She thinks it's cool. She's fine with it. And she's actually been encouraging me to try to get my pipe out because she thinks that it probably calms me down and de-stresses me a little bit, because I've definitely been stressed lately. And have definitely been probably a little pent up. So she's cool with it. She tried one once and felt very sick afterwards. So I think she's a little gun shy about it, but maybe she'll try one again at some point in the future. But gang, thank you so much for sending all those questions in. I'm sorry it took me so long to get to all of them. Things have just been, as I mentioned, very unsettled. Things have been in flux, but from now on, for the foreseeable future, unless the world ends, we should be able to get on with our normal Sunday Stuff and Things, our normal videos on Stuff and Things Plays. I know last week I only had one video. I apologize for that, but I just got kind of caught out. And now I already have videos done for this coming week for Stuff and Things Plays and some for the week after, so we should be back to our Monday, Wednesday, Friday cadence on videos for Stuff and Things Plays. For Stuff and Things, we will at least have our Sunday videos and our Wednesday videos every week, and then depending on how much time I'm going to have now because I've been laid off from work, maybe we'll have even more. We'll see. I'm going to try to get really on top of things again because I had to let things slide for so long with the move. So please look forward to the video about the Rickenbacker guitar on Wednesday. Check out Stuff and Things Plays on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Keep those questions coming in. And before we close, let's get to the very best part of the show, and that is where I thank our Patreon supporters. It is so much appreciated, especially now, especially with me being laid off and kind of wondering what's going to go on with that. I know a lot of you are in the same boat though, so please don't feel obligated, but I really do appreciate those of you who have been able to support the channels, and those who support the channels at $25 or more a month get a special shout out every week. And we like to thank those people. People like Glenn, Derek, Cody Striegler, Kirk Crompton, Private Eye, C.W. Piperman, Ryan McFadin, corbynborbyn, Adam Loveless, MDoftheNorth, Ryan Stauffer, AJ Hoge. Thank you all so much for being $25 Patreon supporters. And now we also have the Maniacs. These are the crazy people who donate $100 a month. They're entitled to a shout out and also to a Skype conversation with me every 3 months. People like Peter Straub, our good friend, Bob Magee, and Michael Pilcher. Michael, we still need to talk soon, so let me know what's up. Let's try to get together sometime soon, but gang, Oh, that is it for this week's Sunday Stuff and Things. We will be back next week. You will have videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Stuff and Things Plays. You'll have another video on Stuff and Things on Wednesday as well. So please tune in. Until next time, until we meet again, I hope you are all doing well. Stay safe. Don't panic. Don't freak out. Don't hoard toilet paper. And I'll see you later.